So guys, we took a look at basic theory of contracts just to get you flowing. We saw a lot of landmark judgments and examples to give you a basic understanding of how contracts work. But we cannot call it complete till we actually do the kind of examples which are asked, right? So what we are going to do is I'm going to show you the examples. Many of these actually asked in the real entrance exams, right? These are from many of these examples have been asked sometimes even more than once in the past papers. Now, it's not just for contracts, but every single legal aptitude thing, the rules are this. First, and कोई टीचर एक्सेप्ट अ लीगल एप्टीट्यूड का टीचर आपको ये नहीं कहेगा, लेकिन सिर्फ एक लीगल एप्टीट्यूड का टीचर आपको कहेगा फॉरगेट ऑल प्रायर नॉलेज. If the question contains principle and facts, you are not supposed to remember anything outside. मैंने आपको जो भी सिखाया हो आपको वो भूल जाना है. Then you have to read the given principles and facts very carefully. Sometimes they may give you a twisted principle. For example, अभी तक हमने देखा है कि no consideration, no contract. But they might twist the principle. They might say no consideration, only then it is a contract. तब आप ये नहीं कहोगे ये प्रिंटिंग मिस्टेक है, ये गलत है. नहीं, they are not checking whether you know the actual law. They are checking whether if it is given in the principle, you are able to understand and apply it. For example, they might give you a silly principle that in India there is a new law that whoever has a mobile phone ringing in the theater will be punished with the death sentence. Now, obviously there is no such law, but then you cannot challenge it because they may not give you actual laws. You simply have to read whatever is given as law and apply it to the facts. And sometimes they may give you a twisted law. Actual law में कुछ और होगा और उन्होंने principle के तौर पे कुछ change करके दिया होगा. So then you cannot consider that it is a printing mistake. No, they may purposely try to twist it. So read the given principle and facts carefully, strictly follow what is given as the principle and strictly answer the asked question, right? Why are we taught the theory, Prasanna? Because if I give you a big principle, okay, do you remember all the principles that I had shown before in theory, contract? अभी हमने कुछ time पहले किया था. Could you understand everything or did you require that explanation? Consideration मैंने explain किया था, right? Explanation से पहले मैंने legal definition of consideration डाला था. Now, 90% of the students will not even understand what it means even though it is in basic English. Why? Because reading something and interpreting something are very difficult. So what happens is that by teaching this theory, we teach you how to interpret it. Of course, if you are very good at English, even without my interpretation, you will understand it. But for most of the average students, reading it and understanding it takes a lot of time. To cut down that time, we do this theory portion. Did you get that, Prasanna? Right, you're doing it for the first time. I've been doing this since maybe even before you guys were born. So yes, legal theory. See, if somebody is very good at reading, and I always said this, legal is one portion you don't need to worry much about, because if you're good at reading, if you're good at logically understanding things, even without prior learning, you can crack this portion. But that does not mean that you leave practicing it, right? Because not everybody is that great inborn. So strictly follow the principle. Don't answer anything except what is asked in the question according to the principle which is given. And let's take a look at the examples to understand what I'm saying. Okay? So principle is given, the facts are given, 3 options are given, A, B, and C. I'll give you about a minute. Which one is the right answer? Yes, correct so far. Oh, there's a mistake. It should not be requested. It should be refused to pay. Okay. So there are two things which we need to consider. One, the judgment, pay or not pay, right? But more than that, the reason why pay or not pay also needs to be selected correctly. Chalo. And always go by the principle based answer. The answer which is based on the principle will be the closest to the correct one. Now, no one can accept a proposal without any knowledge thereof. If you don't know that such a proposal has been made, then obviously you cannot accept it. That is straightforward. Okay. Now, Ramesh proposed to give a reward of 1,000 to anyone informing him the whereabouts of his lost dog. The proposal was printed in a daily newspaper by the name of the Daily Observer on 1st of January 94. On 3rd of January, Rahim, a friend of Ramesh, happened to see the dog. At that time, neither Rahim knew about the award since he was not a regular reader of the Daily Observer, nor Ramesh mentioned anything about the award. Now, on the 5th of January, Rahim came to know about the announcement of the award through a friend of his and he demanded the reward of 1,000 from Ramesh, but Ramesh refused to pay. So now the question is there a contract between the two parties, right? For that, what principle do we follow? Simple. You do not know about an offer, you cannot accept it. And the theory now, offer and acceptance both are required for a contract. Understand? Somebody was asking me, why do we need to learn theory? This is where the principle does not say offer and acceptance are required for a contract. But that is obviously known to you because we have been taught, right? If you don't accept a proposal, that means there is no contract which can be created. So obviously, when Rahim gave the dog back to the owner, would I say that it is acceptance of a proposal? No, because he did not know that there was an offer. उसको ऑफर के बारे में कुछ पता ही नहीं था. And once the dog has been given back, can we say that now he can accept it? No, you cannot, because रात गई बात गई. Once the dog is back, why should now there be anything? So, obviously Ramesh need not pay. So A तो eliminate हो जाता है. Now the point is B and C के बीच में क्या होगा? Right? A तो नहीं होगा. I hope you get it. Because when the dog was brought back, Rahim did not know about the offer. And after the dog has already been given, then if Rahim comes to know about the offer, nothing can be done. Because he has already done something in the past and now knowing the offer is useless. It's as good as नवरात्रि के दौरान पोस्टर है कि नवरात्रि सेल. अब नवरात्रि खत्म हो गई, दुकान में पोस्टर निकालना भूल गए, तो क्या आप दुकान में जाके वो क्लेम कर सकते हो? No, because नवरात्रि के दौरान वो सेल है. Just because the poster is up does not mean you can accept it. And if you did not accept it, that means there is no contract. So A cannot be my answer. Now, B and C के बीच में दोनों need not pay है. But is it because he gave the information without knowing about the award? Or was it because the promise was made only to the readers of the Daily Observer? Now, nowhere does it say that सिर्फ ये पेपर पढ़ने वालों के लिए ये ऑफर है. पेपर में छापा है, बट ऐसा कहां लिखा है कि सिर्फ इस पेपर को पढ़ने वालों के लिए है, right? But that is immaterial. Why? Because the principle is about knowledge of the proposal, and B clearly states he need not pay because he had given the information without knowing the reward. This answer, this option is the only one which follows the principle and answers the question, and hence my answer has to be B. Did you get that? Did you get that? The answer has to be B. Did everybody understand this? This is why it is necessary to understand the principle, and that's why we learn a little bit of theory before jumping into examples. कोई doubt हो तो पूछ लो. Those who said A or C, I hope the confusion is cleared. नहीं हो तो अभी पूछ लो. कोई doubt नहीं है तो आगे बढ़ेंगे हम. Very good. See, simple है. थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. लीगल इज वन ऑफ द इजीएस्ट सेक्शंस टू क्लियर. एक क्यों नहीं, यश, जब रहीम ने डॉग लौटाया, डिड ही नो अबाउट द ऑफर? Did Rahim know about it? No, he did not. once he has returned the dog, is the offer still valid or is it over? Who gave out the pamphlets? Ramesh printed the pamphlets. Rahim was the person who brought the dog, but it was Ramesh who printed the pamphlets. Ramesh printed the pamphlets. Rahim is the person who brought the dog back. Where is Rahim giving out the pamphlets? Yash, after the dog is brought back, how can the offer be valid? कुत्ता तो आ चुका है, अब कुत्ता तो मिल चुका है, तो why should I now say जो कुत्ते को लेके आए, कुत्ता ऑलरेडी मेरे पास है, why do I want people to give me information now? Now the offer is over, right? जब तक मुझे कुत्ते के बारे में नहीं पता तब तक ये ऑफर वैलिड है. जैसे ही कुत्ता मुझे मिल गया, why is the offer valid? ऑफर खत्म, राइट? हाँ, नाउ ऑफर खत्म होने के बाद रहीम जब ऑफर को देखता है, कोई मतलब ही नहीं है क्योंकि वो ऑफर वैलिड ही नहीं है. और जब उसने कुत्ते को लौटाया था तब उसको ऑफर के बारे में पता ही नहीं था, तो वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर सकता था. तो कोई भी सिचुएशन में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट तो नहीं बनाना उनके बीच में. एंड व्हेन देयर इज नो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ हिम गेटिंग द रिवॉर्ड. गॉट इट? यस. शुभंकर, डिड यू गेट इट? डोंट कंफ्यूज. नाम जानबूझ के दे विल गिव यू वेरी सिमिलर नेम्स. It is Ramesh who is giving the offer. It is Rahim who is finding the dog. Shubhankar, did you get that? Chalo, good. Moving ahead. Next one. If both the parties agree upon the same thing in the same sense, then the parties are bound by the agreement. Sanjay wrote to Ritik offering to sell his house for 20,000 rupees. Ritik wrote back, I agree to purchase a black horse for rupees 21,000. Kairavi, hold on guys. Kairavi is asking, isn't it the responsibility of the person to inform Rahim? Whose responsibility to do what? Do you mean to say Ramesh's responsibility to tell Rahim about the offer? Is it Ramesh's responsibility to tell Rahim of the offer? Why? Why is it his responsibility? दुकान में अगर डिस्काउंट सेल चल रहा है और आप दुकान के पास जाते हो, दुकानदार की कोई रेस्पॉन्स, अगर आप ज्यादा पैसे देके उससे सामान खरीदने को तैयार हो, वो कोई पागल ही होगा जो जानबूझ के आपको बोलेगा नहीं 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 कम पैसा दो क्योंकि डिस्काउंट चल रहा है. मार्केटिंग के हिसाब से करेंगे. लॉजिकली स्पीकिंग, इफ यू आर विलिंग टू पे फुल प्राइस, व्हाई शुड ही टेल यू नहीं 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 आप सस्ते में खरीदो मुझसे? जब तक आपको नहीं पता डिस्काउंट के बारे में एंड यू आर विलिंग टू पे द फुल प्राइस, सामने वाला बिंदास लेगा. आई होप यू गॉट दैट कैरवी. ठीक है, मूव ऑन. नेक्स्ट वन. Right here, Sanjay is selling his house, offering to sell his house. Ritik is agreeing to purchase a black horse. भाई पहले ये तो नक्की कर लो कि खरीदना क्या है, बेचना क्या है, right? Because there is no agreement, there is no consensus ad idem, there is no surety. This is, remember, called an uncertain agreement. यहां पे एक पार्टी कुछ बेचने की बात कर रही है, दूसरी पार्टी कुछ बेचने की बात कर रही है. जब तक दोनों के मन में सेम ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं है तब तक हाउ डू वी से दैट देयर इज एन अग्रीमेंट व्हिच कैन बाइंड देम? सो ए एंड सी ऑटोमेटिकली आर आउट. दे कैन नॉट बी बाउंड बिकॉज देयर इज नो क्लैरिटी कि क्या चीज बेच रहे हैं, खरीद रहे हैं. द ओनली ऑप्शन व्हिच मेक सेंस इज बी. दे आर नॉट बाउंड बाय द अग्रीमेंट बिकॉज द ऑब्जेक्ट इज अनसर्टन. No, Aditya. Now, if Aditya says, now supposing Sanjay wrote to Ritik that I'm offering to sell the house for 20,000. Read the point very carefully. It says Ritik wrote back. Ritik wrote back. That means he's replying. And if he had said, I agree to purchase your house instead of black horse house for 21,000 rupees, then it is not a cross offer. It's called a counter offer. Cross offer mein both the parties have to make the offer, same offer. He says house for 20,000, he says house for 20,000, but both of them may ask the question. This is a case if black horse की जगह पे house होता, इसको क्रॉस ऑफर नहीं बोलते हैं, इसको काउंटर ऑफर बोलते हैं. इट इज नॉट एक्सेप्टेंस बट इट इज नॉट क्रॉस ऑफर, इट इज कॉल्ड अ काउंटर ऑफर. Yes, Aditya. Yes, Shubhankar, that's right. I hope you understood the difference between a cross offer and a counter offer. Cross offer is दोनों सवाल पूछते हैं. काउंटर ऑफर इज पहला सवाल पूछता है, दूसरा जवाब देता है, लेकिन उसमें कुछ मॉडिफिकेशन कर देता है. सो दैट्स अ डिफरेंस. क्रॉस ऑफर में इट हैज टू बी एग्जैक्टली द सेम. क्रॉस ऑफर में all the terms are exactly the same, but still neither of them is replying to the other's question, so it is a cross offer. Here the terms are very different. यहां पे तो सर्टेनिटी नहीं है, बट ऑब्जेक्ट सेम होता, सिर्फ प्राइस डिफरेंट होता, तो इसको काउंटर ऑफर बोलते हैं. नेगोशिएशन. यस शिवम, दैट्स करेक्ट. आई होप एवरीबडी अंडरस्टूड दिस, राइट? सो देयर इज नो डाउट. सिंपल है, कोई बाइंडिंग ही नहीं है. देयर इज नो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. व्हाई? बिकॉज इट्स एन अनसर्टन अग्रीमेंट. वेरी गुड. चलो next one. No legal remedy exists for an injury caused by an act for which one has consented. Now this is not exactly 100% only contracts, but it is good for understanding consent. Vijay, a cricket enthusiast, purchases a ticket to watch the one-day international cricket match between India and Australia organized by the Board for Control for Cricket in India. As he's absorbed in watching the exploits of Tendulkar, a ball struck for a six by the latter hits Vijay on his body and injures him. Vijay sues BCCI for reimbursement of the medical bill he paid for treatment of the injury. This normally falls under torts, right? This generally falls under torts, but theek hai, we can do it here also because the principle is straightforward to understand. What should be my answer in this one? Correct so far, everybody? Vanshika, no. Others are right. Pranav, nahi. Khwahish, no. Vanshika, no. Okay. So let's understand something. No legal remedy exists for an injury caused by an act for which one has consented. It means if you are indulging in an activity for which you have voluntarily agreed, any normal injury which can be expected in that act, you cannot blame others for it as long as it is normal for it. If you voluntarily agree to watch a cricket match, is it normal for a sixer to be hit by the batsman? Is it normal for a sixer to be hit by the batsman? Yes. Is it normal that the sixer hit by the batsman, the ball will fall among the audience? Is it normal that if a sixer is hit by the batsman, the ball may go to the audience and somebody may get hurt? It is normal, right? There is no intention to hurt somebody. And when you purchase a ticket for a cricket match, it is obvious that it is possible that a sixer may be hit by the batsman, in which case the ball may fall in the audience. And because nobody forced you to buy that ticket, you have voluntarily accepted to all such normal injuries, because of which you cannot hold somebody else liable. In tort law, this is a principle called voluntary non-fit injuria or voluntary fit non-injuria, whatever thing. Basically, it means voluntarily, if you agree to a dangerous act, any normal outcome, you cannot hold somebody else liable. Did everybody get this one? Right? So in this case, you cannot say Vijay should be compensated because the ticket, although he did not openly say, okay, I will not get injured, but it is assumed that a sixer is a normal part of the game and hence it has to be protected against by yourself, right? And BCCI, if it does not protect from unforeseen injuries, then theek hai. But this is not something which it is required to protect them against. It is a normal part of the game. And hence option B. Vijay would lose as he voluntarily exposed himself to the risk in this game. I hope you got this one. It's a voluntary exposure to the risk and hence cannot be held liable. कोई doubt हो तो पूछ लो, वरना I'll move on to the next one. None? Good. Next. An offer may be terminated by direct or indirect communication from the party or any other person as agreed upon by the parties. John meets Joseph and conveys to him his intent not to enter into a contract with Joseph over the marine deal. Joseph also agrees to it, but asks John to send him a message via WhatsApp messaging service, as he needs to check whether his phone is working correctly and that the messaging service is working proper. John agrees and leaves, but forgets to message Joseph. Joseph treats the contract as alive and goes ahead with his performance. Decide. No, Millie. Think a little bit. Look at all the options. Look at all the options. Just because one option looks good does not mean you stop reading. Check all the options. Remember, it has to be closest to the principle given. Not only does it have to answer the question, but it also has to fall in line with the given principle. It has to settle all the facts also. So, what did John say? I don't want to continue the contract. Joseph says yes, I'm okay with it, but मुझे WhatsApp पे मैसेज भेज. जॉन ने मैसेज नहीं भेजा है. जोसेफ ने बोला कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंड नहीं हुआ है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अभी भी चालू है. So you have to decide whether the contract is actually alive or did it terminate despite the fact that WhatsApp message was not sent. So the question here is, was it said that the message for termination has to be on WhatsApp? Look at what Joseph says. Joseph agreed when John said, I want to terminate. But he said, send me through WhatsApp. But he did not say WhatsApp pe hi confirmation hoga. In fact, he very clearly said that I need you to send it through WhatsApp because I need to check whether my phone is working, whether the service is working. So clearly he has indicated that termination of contract to मैं already agree कर चुका हूँ. Sending the message through WhatsApp is actually not required for actually terminating the contract. So the contract is not alive. A and C are out. Now the question is, can it be B or can it be D? Right? Now, as a judge, the issue before you is not sending the message by WhatsApp. Does it have any impact on termination of the contract? You have to understand this. When these are the facts presented in front of you, actually what is the issue? Problem कहाँ पे है? Problem ये है कि WhatsApp mention तो किया है, लेकिन WhatsApp पे communication नहीं हुआ. So was communication through WhatsApp actually required for termination of the contract? Now compare options B and D. B simply says the contract has ended the moment both parties communicated to each other the willingness to revoke blah blah blah. D says the contract has ended because the messaging was not a part of the communication of revocation. The issue was not whether the communication was done. Issue is whether WhatsApp communication was necessary, which is a better option in this case. Option B for Bombay does not address the issue of WhatsApp. वो सिंपली कहते हैं कम्युनिकेशन हुआ है, बट वही तो तकलीफ है. जोसेफ कह रहा है कि व्हाट्सएप में नहीं भेजा इसलिए कम्युनिकेशन नहीं हुआ है. राइट? सो नाउ यू हैव टू डिसाइड, हैज द कम्युनिकेशन एक्चुअली टेकन प्लेस or not? The answer is communication has taken place. Why? Because messaging is not required here as part of the communication, and hence my correct answer has to be D for Delhi. Did you get that? B is not wrong. B is not wrong. लेकिन as a judge, B cannot be your answer because facts में पंगा कहां पे है? The entire point of the problem is WhatsApp message नहीं भेजा है उसने. Does that have any impact? And that is answered by D, and hence D has to be your answer. Did everybody get that? Aditya? Nobody specified that WhatsApp से ही revocation हो सकता है. In fact, revocation उसने पहले accept कर लिया और फिर कहा. In fact, the moment he said agree, you read the sentence. Joseph also agrees. The moment you read that, you understand it is done. उसके बाद जब वो कहता है WhatsApp भेज, at that point of time, the contract is actually already terminated. So उसके बाद वो जो भी कहेगा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. एंड हेंस माय करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज डी. आई थिंक नाउ एवरीबॉडी शुड हैव गॉट दिस वन. यस, सो दो ऑप्शंस करेक्ट अगर हैं तो उसमें से इजीली हाउ डू यू आइडेंटिफाई विच वन शुड बी मार्क्ड? यू फर्स्ट आइडेंटिफाई कि ये कोर्ट में केस क्यों आया है. कोर्ट में केस इसीलिए आया है क्योंकि व्हाट्सएप पे उसने मैसेज नहीं भेजा. सो योर डिसीजन इज नॉट वेदर द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज एक्चुअली ओवर और नॉट. योर मेन डिसीजन इज व्हाट्सएप रिक्वायर्ड और नॉट, एंड दैट इज ओनली आंसर्ड इन ऑप्शन डी, and hence that is the answer. Yes, so many students ask me, sir, दो answers same tone में है, how do I differentiate? So one, you go and ask yourself कि जो भी पार्टी आपके सामने आई है उसको तकलीफ किस पॉइंट पे हुई, and then look at the principle, and the option which matches these things has to be your answer. Easy. चलो और थोड़ा लंबा क्वेश्चन, let's see. I'm not going to read it out aloud, I'll give you about a minute, then let's see who gets this one. Taking some time. That's okay. Read it carefully, get it right. It's not difficult. It's relatively an easy example. Okay. So let's see. Principle. An invitation to offer. Guys, we have seen this. Remember, I was talking about auction. I was talking about that tender. In fact, Tendu believes का एक case भी देखा था. An invitation to offer is a general invitation on part of the person to invite offers from parties he intends should make an offer to him. I'm not making the offer to you. I'm asking you to give me an offer. So he remains the acceptor. The person who gives the invitation is actually the acceptor and can revoke, take back his acceptance any time before he accepts it fully and unconditionally without any pressure. But once accepted, it becomes a legally binding promise. Okay? Facts are simple. Pi is an adventurist. He keeps globetrotting. Globetrotting means दुनिया भर घूमते रहता है. While he has a dwelling, a house at the Pina Colada beach of Mumbai. Once during his visit to the Caribbean, he feels it is a blessed country for him, so wishes to sell off his present dwelling in Mumbai. He comes out with a tender notice in the legal daily with his intention to auction his dwelling. The tender notice gives all details of the auction, including the price of the dwelling, which shall start at the auction from 20 crores. On the given day, many top industrialists arrive to buy the dwelling with their respective offers. Auction starts and the bidding reaches the 3-digit start mark of 100 crores. Nathunia breaks the auction tie by offering 120 crores. Now Pi starts thinking that this dwelling is so valuable, why should I sell it? Rather, I should rent it out. So as the auction controller hits the hammer for first time, this is the most important part of the case. As the auction controller hits the hammer for first time, Pi stands up and declares that he does not intend to sell the dwelling anymore, wishes to rent it out the dwelling now. While the crowd speculates, Mr. Nathunia protests that Pi should honor the offer. Decide. Pi is not the offerer. He has given an invitation, which means the people who are making the bids are all offerers. So सबसे पहले तो हमारी ये clarity होनी चाहिए कि Mr. Nathunia has made an offer, right? So the offer has been made by Mr. Nathunia for 120 crores. Pi is the acceptor. ऑक्शन कंट्रोलर के थ्रू पाई इज द एक्सेप्टर. बट द क्वेश्चन हियर is the acceptance complete? The principle says acceptance पूरी तरह हो उसके पहले आप उसको रिवोक कर सकते हो, right? So does he need to accept it? Has he accepted the offer is the question. Now I remember I said first time, so the auction controller hits the hammer for the first time, which means the hammer is needed to be struck more than once. Even if you do not know how auction works, normal logic will tell you कि अगर उन्होंने लिखा है कि हथौड़ी पहली बार मार रहा है उसका मतलब है एक से ज्यादा बार शायद मारना होगा. Because if a single strike of the hammer was enough, they would not have written first time. So when they say that he hit the hammer for the first time, it means अभी इससे एक और minimum एक और बार हथौड़ी का मारना जरूरी है. It is not important कितनी बार हथौड़ी मारना है, but इतना हमको logically समझ में आ जाता है the hammer has to be struck more than one time. That means now it is not complete. And before it is complete, Pai said, I don't want to sell it anymore. He has revoked it. Can he do it? Legally he can. Legally he can take it back, right? Because he has not made the acceptance. So A, he should honor the contract. No. B, he will have to compensate. No, because he has not done anything wrong. And D is not an option. Judge aap ho. You have to give a decision. In this case, you cannot say कि जो auction controller को करना है करे. नहीं. You cannot give a legal decision to a person like an auction controller. You are the judge. You are supposed to give the decision. And because the acceptance is not complete, there is technically no contract between the parties. So very simply, B, he can easily avoid the contract because he has not given any unconditional acceptance. And जब तक acceptance नहीं दिया जाता, तब तक कोई contract ही नहीं बनता है. और जब तक कोई contract नहीं बनता है, there is no legal obligation between the parties. So the simple answer, option B. He can easily avoid the contract. There is no technical contract which has formed between them. Did everybody get this one? I hope everybody understood the reasoning behind why he does not have to honor the contract, because the acceptance was never made. And how do we know the manner of acceptance? Simple. Looking at the words, it tells you that the hammer needs to be struck more than once, which has not taken place. Okay, then I move on to the next question then. When an offer is accepted by a person to whom it is made, it becomes a promise. But the promise will become legally binding only when the acceptance of the offer is unconditional. Somebody was asking me, unqualified kya hota hai? Right? So this is it, unconditional. Facts. Manu gave an offer to Gurudev Bakery for a cake at 7 o'clock. And Gurudev Bakery accepted the offer, but Gurudev Bakery told specifically to Manu that they shall give the cake only at 8 o'clock in the evening. But Manu did not agree to it. Thereafter, Gurudev Bakery called up Manu after 15 minutes and conveyed that they agree to Manu's proposal. But Manu, in a fit of anger, does not reply and puts down the phone. The bakery carries ahead the contract. Can Gurudev Bakery enforce the contract upon Manu to purchase its cake? Yes, Mehak. Correct. Everybody is getting it right so far. I'm so proud of you guys. Now you are understanding how to think like lawyers. Very good, very good. Badhiya hai. See, I told you, most of the legal aptitude sections easily are cracked. Full marks आते हैं normally. एक आध थोड़ा overthink अगर करके लफड़ा किया तो लफड़ा हुआ. No, Hitanshi. Think about it. No, Pranav. No, Hetvi. Baki, everybody is correct. चलो. Acceptance तभी हो सकता है जब it is unconditional. And this is where theory comes in. They have not mentioned it here, but we know that the moment a new offer comes, the old offer is gone. So, Manu first makes the offer, 7 o'clock. Gurudev says, okay, but 8 o'clock. That means it is not unconditional. So there is no acceptance. This is a counter offer. In fact, Gurudev Bakery ने जो कहा है वो तो counter offer हो गया ना, right? They said we will give at 8 o'clock. So they have not accepted the offer. Now, offer किसका है? Gurudev Bakery का offer is for 8 o'clock. But Manu did not agree to it. गुरुदेव ने ऑफर दिया, मनु ने एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं किया, तो ना ऑफर एक्सेप्ट नहीं हुआ तो कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ही नहीं है. Now, if Gurudev Bakery calls up Manu and says that okay, we agree to your proposal, where is the offer and acceptance from both the parties for the same thing? There is no offer, right? All the offers have been rejected. तो Gurudev Bakery मनु को कॉल करके किस चीज को एक्सेप्ट कर रहा है, right? So even if they say we agree to your proposal, they cannot agree to the proposal because there is no proposal. The moment Gurudev Bakery said that we will be only able to give it at 8, Manu's proposal for 7 o'clock is done, over, khatam, finished, dead. So now Manu का कोई proposal ही नहीं है because by making a counter offer, Gurudev killed their original offer. So now they say we agree to your proposal. भाई किस चीज को agree कर रहा है? जब मेरा proposal है ही नहीं, तब तो agree किस चीज को करेगा? So, but even if Manu does not say anything, there is no problem because there is no agreement, there is no contract. So, bakery carries ahead the contract. भाई कौन सा contract? Contract तेरे दिमाग में है. Legally, there is no contract between the parties. And because there is no contract between the parties, nothing can be done by the courts. Courts बोलेगा there is no offer, there is no acceptance, there is no proper agreement between the parties which can be enforced. There is no contract between you guys. So, Gurudev Bakery cannot compel. Right? The new condition and timing was not accepted by Manu, and hence option C. They cannot compel. There is no contract enforceable. Did everybody get this one? There is no enforceable contract between the parties. Acceptance तो होना चाहिए ना. Acceptance ही नहीं है यहाँ पे. Did everybody get this one? Are we together, guys? Any doubts if somebody did not get it? नहीं? ठीक है, चलो. Classic example. Next one. I think we can skip this one. This is the same one as the first one. खोया हुआ कुत्ता. Proposal is acceptance plus consideration is contract. Communication is complete when it comes to the knowledge of the person to whom it is made. The nephew absconded from home, sent his servant, blah, 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 blah. Right? Not aware of the offer. I think everybody knows this one. We'll move on to the next one. Yeah, this is good. Yes, everybody got it correct so far. महक लफड़ो छे. ना कह रवि ना. Malav no. Remember, a judge has to give a decision. A judge cannot suggest क्या करना चाहिए था. A judge cannot say कि ये होना चाहिए था. Judge can only say कि जो हुआ वो सही है या गलत है. A judge cannot tell what should have happened. A judge can only decide whatever happened, is it right or wrong. So here the acceptance to an offer should be given only in the mode prescribed by the proposer for a contract to become enforceable. That means if I am making you an offer and I say कि acceptance मुझे सिर्फ इसी तरीके से चाहिए, तो जब तक आप उस तरीके में acceptance नहीं देते, I can say that it is not complete. So A offered to buy a horse from B, requesting that the acceptance should be sent through A's agent. So there is a very clear definition of acceptance कि agent के through ही आप acceptance भेजोगे. So B sent his acceptance through his servant who reached A's office a day after A's agent reached. Does not matter that B has sent his acceptance. The main point is, has he done it through the prescribed mode? What was the prescribed mode? The acceptance should be handed to A's agent. Did B do it? No. B did not send acceptance to the agent. So is it valid? No. So technically there is no acceptance in this case, right? So I can say the contract is binding only when the acceptance is made in the prescribed mode. And because the acceptance is not made in the prescribed mode, simply there is no binding contract. That's it. What A, B should have done, what B could have done is immaterial. So B cannot be my answer. A judge cannot give advice that B should have intimated. Judge cannot tell you that, right? And you cannot say, नहीं उसने भेजा तो सही. No, because very clearly A said agent के through ही भेजना है. Agent के through भेजा, valid. नहीं भेजा, not valid. As simple as that. My answer, option A. I hope everybody got it. Whoever did not answer A, I hope now you understood. B, C, D does not make any difference. A अगर बोलता है कि acceptance के लिए 4 कबूतरों को हवा में उड़ाओ, तो 4 कबूतरों को जब तक हवा में नहीं उड़ाते तब तक acceptance नहीं है. हाँ, if no clear mode of acceptance is prescribed in the offer, then you can use a normal means. लेकिन अगर ऑफर के अंदर क्लियरली डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया है कैसे आपको एक्सेप्टेंस देना है, तो आपको वो फॉलो करना ही पड़ेगा, वरना सामने वाली पार्टी उसको रिजेक्ट कर सकती है. आई कैन से दैट आई विल सेल यू माई कार फॉर 5 लाख रुपीज. इफ यू वांट टू अग्री, देन यू हैव टू कुक पुलाव इन योर हाउस एंड फीड इट टू 3 people. Right? It may sound stupid, but because I've specified it, if you don't do it in that manner, I can say it is not an acceptance. Even if you have sent me a message, that doesn't matter. You did not follow what I asked you to do. I have the legal right to say it has not been accepted. It cannot be questioned. Did everybody understand this one? Did everybody understand this one? Yes? Very good. Chalo. Next one then. Now this is a question, slight controversy. A good lawyer can always argue either way. But a generally acceptable answer is what I'm looking for. Correct so far. Anmol, no. Others, yes. Urmi, nahi. Vanshika, nahi. Shrijan, no. Disha, no. Others, yes. Aditya, no. Lafda chai. Millie, no. Yes, Aditya, now we got it. Okay. A contract requires a proposal and an acceptance of the proposal. It is necessary to make a binding contract, not only that the proposal be accepted, but also that the acceptance is notified to the proposer. Right? You tell something, as long as I know it, I have received it. If not, it is not notified to me. A sent a letter to B stating he was willing to sell to B 10 bags of rice at rupees 20 each. B made a telephone call to A to inform him that he had accepted the offer. But just as he was stating his acceptance, a very noisy aircraft flew over B's house. A was not able to hear the acceptance. Is there a completed contract between the two parties? A made the acceptance, B got it. B knows about it. B made the acceptance. Does A know about it? A has made the offer, which B has known. It has come to his notice. B also has made the acceptance from his side. But has it come to the notice of A? The answer is no. And जब तक A does not know about the notice, how can you hold him liable to a contract? जब तक वो notification उसके knowledge में नहीं आता, how can you hold him liable to the contract? So the point is, you cannot say that the entire process of creating a valid contract has been completed here. Because although the acceptance has been made by B, it has not come to the notice of A. He could not hear it. And when he could not hear it, it has not been notified to him. And when it has not been notified to him, then there is no valid contract between the two parties. Did you get that, everybody? It's not only necessary that you make the, जैसे मैं ऑफर देता हूं लेकिन आपको नहीं पता तो there is no possibility of acceptance. Remember the dog lost, nephew lost, ये सारे केसेस में हमने वही देखा है कि मैंने तो ऑफर किया है बट आपको नहीं पता तो you cannot accept it. Similarly, acceptance आपने किया लेकिन मुझे नहीं पता. How do I say that there is a contract between us? Yeah, but then how is, see, Manbir, your question that how is B supposed to know that A did not hear it is valid. But is it A's fault that he did not hear it? Isn't it logical that A should have awareness of it? If A does not know whether B has said yes or not, how is it A's fault? How is it A's fault? And let's see, when the plane is flying overhead, can't B hear that noise? Or even if it does not, how is it A's fault? See, I'm not saying B is at fault, but you cannot punish A for something which was not within his control. How do you punish A for something which is not within his control? Was it A's fault that he could not hear it? Then why? Exactly. So what is better, to have a contract or not have a contract? Should I be putting a legal obligation on the head of somebody for no fault of his, or is it better not to create a legal obligation, which is a safer option? Amanbir, I hope you understand. Think logically. Is it better to say yes, there is a contract and create a liability for A, or is it better to say there is no contract and there's no legal obligation created on anybody's head? It's better, right? Exactly. Think like that. Think reasonably like that. How would a reasonable man think? That's exactly what we are looking for. Right? This type of thinking will also help you in many judgments. Okay, what would you reasonably expect a judge to do? Which is a better option, right? If the principle is not enough for you to understand, then of course the thing is, what is a safe option where there is no unnecessary legal liability? Nobody should be harmed. One of the initial principles of law is no innocent should ever be punished. You will rather let a guilty person go free than punish an innocent. This is one of the basic foundation rules of Indian law. It's okay to let a guilty person go free, but you should never be in a position where an innocent will be punished. ठीक है? चलो. Moving ahead. Simple one. Next. Try this. Majority are getting it right. Very good. I think this is simple. An auction is similar to the pi wala example, that auction of his house wala example, Nathuniya wala. Auction or sale of goods is an invitation to offer, not an offer. N advertised in a newspaper to effect sale of his goods on a particular day at a particular place. H travelled a long distance to bid for the things. On arrival, he found that the sale was cancelled. He sued N for breach of contract. Is N liable? Simple. Contract hone ke liye there must be an offer, there must be an acceptance, and then all, of course, the essential conditions. But the first two things, offer and acceptance, where is the offer and where is the acceptance? And when there is no clear offer acceptance, there is no creation of a technically valid contract. How can you breach it? बच्चा पैदा अगर हुआ नहीं है तो उसको मार कैसे सकते हो, right? Contract बना ही नहीं है तो उसको breach कैसे किया जा सकता है? So can N be held liable for something which never existed? No. So N is not liable. राइट. वॉइडेबल का मतलब है कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एग्जिस्ट करता है. सो बोथ बी एंड सी आर रॉन्ग एज द आंसर. द ओनली ऑप्शन विच मेक सेंस इज डेफिनेटली ए. Why? Because advertisement. Sorry. I कहाँ गया? एक second ना guys. I goofed up something. Yeah. N is not liable. Why? Because the advertisement was merely an expression of an intention. It is not an offer. And when there is no offer, there is no acceptance. So by traveling to the place of the sale, there is no acceptance technically, because H has to actually make an offer and N will be the person making the acceptance. And because none of this has taken place, there is no contract. And when there is no contract, there cannot be a breach of contract. Right? No liability. I think this was pretty simple. Most of you, I think almost everybody got this one correct. Simple example. And yes, ऐसे ही examples exam में भी आते हैं, right? You will not be getting many complex examples. At least most of the fair entrance exams, they will have simple cases like this, right? So if you have practiced enough, tuck, 30 seconds, you are done with it. Chalo, next one. This is a real life case. Okay. So what does the principle say? It says a contract requires a proposal and an acceptance of the proposal, right? And it is necessary to make a binding contract. Not only that the proposal is accepted, but also the acceptance is notified to the proposer. Nothing new that we have seen so far. Now let's take a look at the facts. Harvey sent a telegram to Fashi stating, "Will you sell us bumper hall pen? Telegraph the lowest cash price, answer paid," whatever, right? Now Fashi replied on the same day, "The lowest price for bumper hall pen is 900 pounds. To which Harvey said, "We agree to buy bumper hall pen for the sum of 900 pounds asked by you. Please send us the title deed in order that we may get early possession." But Fashi did not send any reply to the last telegram sent by Harvey. So now Harvey filed a case against Fashi claiming the bumper hall pen estate. Is there a valid contract between Harvey and Fashi? Now let's take a look at what Harvey has asked. Harvey has asked two questions, right? Look at the very first communication which happened between them. Harvey asked two questions. He said, "What is the, first of all, are you willing to sell the thing?" Second question, "What is the lowest price?" That's it. He says he has asked two questions. And Fashi has replied only one of them. Fashi has never given a reply to the first question, "Will you sell us the bumper hall pen?" The second question, "What is the lowest price?" Fashi says the lowest price is 900 pounds. But does it imply that he is willing to sell or that he has accepted to sell at that price? No. There is no clarity on whether Fashi has answered the question number one. Fashi has simply answered the second question, right? So when Harvey says, "We agree to buy bumper hall pen for the sum of 900 pounds asked by you, please send us blah, blah, blah," Fashi technically did not agree to sell for 900 pounds. He only said the lowest price is 900 pounds. It does not mean that he's willing to sell for 900 pounds. So then Harvey is saying that we agreed to buy for the sum of 900 pounds asked by you. Fashi never asked for 900 pounds. In fact, he gave a reply to the question asked by Harvey in the first place, right? So when Harvey says that we agree to buy it for the sum asked by you, he's wrong. And Fashi never confirmed this. So in no way has he ever answered the question. So yes, there is a valid contract because Harvey made it offer for 3 times and Fashi did not respond, which amounts to his acceptance. भाई साहब बात तो ऐसी हो गई, लड़की को जाके मैं 3 बार प्रपोजल मारूं और वो कुछ ना बोले तो उसके खामोशी में उसकी हाँ है. भाई, silence here has not been defined. Harvey did not say, "If you remain silent, I will consider it as acceptance." So just because somebody offers something to you 3 times and you remain silent, it does not mean you have accepted it. A cannot be my answer. Same is with C. It cannot be a voidable contract. Acceptance नहीं है तो contract ही नहीं है. जब contract ही नहीं है तो void किस चीज को करोगे? So neither A nor C makes any sense. The only thing, there is no valid contract. Why? Because nobody accepted anything. Right? The offer to buy was never accepted by the other party very clearly. And hence clearly the option has to be B. No valid contract between them. I think everybody should by now get this. Most of you did get the right answer. I hope the others also understood. There is no contract simply because there is no acceptance at any point of time. Are we together on this? Okay, chalo. Next one. A counter offer does not give rise to a contractual binding. What it means, we have already seen. A offered to sell a farm for £1,000. X said he would give £950. A refused. X then said he would give £1,000. And when A declined to adhere to his original offer, tried to obtain specific performance. That is, X tried to force A into a contract in the court. Is there a valid contract between A and X? Is there a valid contract between A and X? Now guys, remember, voidable वाला जो option होता है, जब तक प्रिंसिपल में आपको voidable का कोई डेफिनेशन नहीं देते, तब तक वो आंसर तो लाइफ में कभी सिलेक्ट नहीं करने का. जब तक voidable कब होगा उसका डेफिनेशन आपको क्लियरली प्रिंसिपल में नहीं दिया होगा, तब तक voidable वाला ऑप्शन जनरली गलत होता है. तो सी तो मैं टच भी नहीं करूंगा. So the only point is it a valid contract or not a valid contract? Simple. Counter offer kills the original offer. A offered, X made a counter offer. अभी तक acceptance नहीं आया है, right? कोई acceptance किसी चीज का नहीं हुआ है, contract नहीं हो सकता. Contract ही नहीं है, so there cannot be any enforcement. Simple. Answer has to be A. खत्म कहानी. Facts को पढ़ने में जितना टाइम लगेगा, आंसर करने में उतना बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं लगेगा. It will take you time to read the facts and the options. But selecting the option generally should not take much time because it's very easy to eliminate them. Only thing is, दो या ज़्यादा options अगर similar हैं तो explanation आपको देखना है कि कौन principle and facts को match करता है. But selecting the option once you have read all of them should never take time. Remember, if you overthink it, you will end up in trouble. इसका एक और है, overthink it is always problematic. voidable का सिलेक्शन सबसे पहले तो मैं सिर्फ तब और तब करूंगा जब प्रिंसिपल में voidable का यूसेज हुआ हो. If they say under such circumstances the contract is voidable, then and only then I will say that okay, voidable वाला ऑप्शन कंसिडर करना है. वरना इश्यू अगर वैलिड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का है, the only answer is yes it is valid or no it is not valid. Remember, a judge cannot say what it is. See, it may or may not be voidable, but you have not been asked whether it is voidable. You have not been asked what type of contract it is, right? If I ask you, am I a girl? The judge cannot say you are a boy. The judge can only say you are not a girl. Did you get that? Prasanna, facts cannot be this much. Oh, अभी सिर्फ 1-2 साल से थोड़ा लंबा होने लगा है, वरना most exam, these are actual questions from exams. Facts इससे भी छोटे हो सकते हैं. Don't worry about it. But हाँ, recent times में legal aptitude में they have made it लंबा चौड़ा. Point is they just want to waste your time with reading. The actual काम के facts will be very small. बाकी most of कचड़ा होगा to confuse you. हाँ, real life cases में तो the facts will be encyclopedia size. Hundreds and thousands of pages of facts. Legal aptitude में generally इतने लंबे नहीं होते थे. Kairavi, did you get that? Okay, Prasanna, okay. Chalo. Moving on to the next one then, guys. Communication of acceptance is must for a valid contract. Before I read the facts, मैं option C को उड़ा दूंगा. Voidable contract की तो मैं बात ही नहीं करूंगा. Even before I read the facts, voidable वाला आंसर मुझे चाहिए ही नहीं. C तो आंसर होगा ही नहीं. अब A और B के लिए facts को पढ़ो. Manager of a railway company received an offer by a letter relating to the supply of coal. He wrote on the letter accepted and kept it in his drawer and forgot about it. अरे वाह, sounds like me. कि कुछ लिख के भूल जाना. What is the nature of the contract? Simple. Communication of acceptance is must. Did he make the acceptance? Yes. Did he communicate it? No. Is it valid? No. खत्म कहानी. Option A हो ही नहीं सकता. Once it is written accepted, it means there's a valid contract. भाई साहब, acceptance को communicate नहीं किया है. जब तक acceptance सामने वाले को आप communicate नहीं करते, उसको पता कैसे चलेगा? राइट? आप मम्मी को पूछते हो, मम्मी मेरे को आप आईफोन दिलाओगे? फिर आप स्कूल जब जाते हो तो मम्मी घर में खुद को बोलते हैं, हाँ मैं आपको आईफोन दिलाऊंगी. हैव यू गॉट द आंसर टू योर क्वेश्चन? नो. जब तक आपके कानों में, आपके नॉलेज में नहीं आता है, तब तक योर क्वेश्चन हैज नॉट बीन आंसर्ड. तो एक्सेप्टेड लिख के खुद के ड्रॉअर में अगर वो डाल दे, कबोर्ड में बंद करके रख दे, इट हैज नॉट रीच्ड द अदर पार्टी, सो इट कैनॉट बी अ वैलिड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. As simple as that. So B, there is no valid contract. Why? Because there is no communication of the acceptance. Pappu question. Did everybody understand this now? I hope everybody understood this question. Perfectly simple question. Right? And voidable को कैसे उड़ाते हैं वो भी बताया इसके अंदर. चलो, next one. अब इसमें प्रिंसिपल नहीं है. And ऐसे questions भी कभी कभी एग्जाम्स में आ जाते हैं. तो यहां पे what has been taught to you as theory will be useful, right? Of course, it is very logical. Even if nobody has taught you this theory, many logically thinking students will get it. But theory आपको पढ़ा दिया है, it becomes easier for you to know this. So Ramu applied for the post of a director in an organization. The governing body of the organization passed a resolution appointing him to the post. After the meeting, one of the members of the governing body informing him privately of the resolution. But subsequently, the resolution was rescinded. Rescinded means cancelled. So Ramu claims damages. Which one of the following is the correct legal proposition in the case? Now, even without looking at the options, tell me. Has he officially been appointed? Anmol, understand one thing. It is not necessarily a question of torts, right? Because a communication of an offer or communication, and understand, just because it seems like question of contracts or torts doesn't mean it cannot be a question of other thing, right? Law is not compartmentalized in black and white. The same thing can fall under many categories. That's why exam में आपको ये नहीं बोलेगा कि ये contracts के question है, ये tort का question. They'll just give you a question. Now whether it is of contracts or torts, it's not material. You just need to pass a judgment. So explicitly, you need not understand whether it is torts or contract. And anyway, this is all about communication of an offer. So very much it can fall under contracts as well. Right? So technically speaking, officially जब तक, and इसमें even if you do not know the legal principles, इतना तो common sense बताता है कि officially अगर कोई information देता है तो वो valid है. जब तक officially कोई नहीं बताता है, हम उस चीज को नहीं मान सकते. Right? कोई भी, जैसे मैं बार बार स्टूडेंट्स को कहता हूं, एनी नोटिस अबाउट एग्जाम्स, अबाउट इन कॉलेजेस, कोई ऐरे गहरे नथु केरे साइट पे मत जाओ. राइट? देयर आर सो मेनी प्राइवेट साइट्स इवन ऑफ कोचिंग क्लासेस जहां पे लोग जाके इंफॉर्मेशन देखेंगे, कुछ उल्टा सीधा इंफॉर्मेशन पढ़ लिया, पुराना इंफॉर्मेशन पढ़ लिया, पैनिक में आ जाते हैं. मैं बोलता हूं द ओनली कम्युनिकेशन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन विच इज वैलिड इज फ्रॉम द ऑफिशियल सोर्स. राइट? क्लैट के बारे में जानना है, क्लैट के ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट पे जाओ. आईपीएम के बारे में जानना है, उसके ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट पे जाओ. हियर the member of the governing body privately gave information that you have been selected, but the governing body itself has never officially communicated, and जब तक उसको officially communicate नहीं किया तब तक he has neither been selected nor rejected. So उसके बाद जब वो खुद का order cancel करके बोलते कि भाई तू reject हो गया है, there is absolutely nothing wrong in that. They have the full right to reject his selection. They said no, we don't want to select you. पहले उन्होंने डिसाइड किया था कि करना है, बट उसके बाद जब डिसाइड किया नहीं करना है, ऑफिशियली दे नेवर टोल्ड हिम यू आर सिलेक्टेड. सो व्हेन दे गिव हिम द रिजेक्शन इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, दे हैव एवरी राइट टू डू सो. राइट? एंड वी हैव सीन दिस. आई थिंक दिस इज Parker versus something case, if I'm not mistaken. This is actually a real case. Right? Simple. He cannot claim damages. Why? No formal communication. So option B, simple. I think everybody got this one. Right? And this is also a learning for us in real life, right? Because now is the time where a lot of information keeps coming. So guys, just think, a couple of few students have started searching for college information, and they saw that the official application dates for some colleges, some exams have started, right? Yes, some colleges have indeed started their application dates, but the application process continues for a long time. And normally I would advise कि अगर application खुल गया है तो you can also start applying. But this year, generally by now, the board exam exact dates would have been launched. So I can tell you, okay, exam clash नहीं हो रहा है, आप कर सकते हो. But this year, since CBSE has not officially given the exact dates, right? And supposing the exam clashes on the day with their boards, you will not be able to say no to a private exam because they may not change it. So, and because the last date for application is much later, March से पहले खत्म नहीं होगा ये, and by end of December या mid Jan तक CBSE का and other boards का भी clarity आ जाएगा. So please just hold on. Once the exact dates for board exams come, after that I'll keep sending you notifications for the different colleges, and then you can start filling. There is plenty of time for that. No exam is going to be held. No application date is going to get over before exam dates, right? We have plenty of time. Don't panic. You can start looking at colleges, but don't worry. I'll keep sending you notification as and when there is clarity. ठीक है? चलो. Okay, what should droppers do? Guys, let's take a few more examples. Let's take a couple of examples, and then once I end the session, I'll take the doubts. I'll answer these questions in the last 5 minutes. ठीक है? Chalo, let's take a couple of examples, and then I'll answer all your questions in the last 5 minutes related to non-contracts thingies. Chalo. When one person signifies to another his willingness to do or abstain, that is not do something, with a view to obtaining the assent of that other to such an act or abstinence, he is said to make a proposal. The expression of willingness or desire results in an enforceable contract. That part is missing. Results in an enforceable. एक second, શું થયું? ગડબડ થઈ ગયું. Okay, I'm back. Enforceable contract. ठीक है, चल. Now tell me from the options, which one? Abstain means to not do something. I will not eat food. So you're abstaining from eating food. When you say no to something, I will not do this, then you're abstaining from it. That is abstinence. Okay. Very simple. When one person signifies to another, for anything to happen, there must be a second person. What does the fact say? X makes the following statement in an uninhabited hall. This question is more about vocabulary than anything else. Uninhabited means empty, in which there is no other human being. So X in an empty hall says, I wish to sell my mobile phone for ₹1,000. वो सिर्फ हवा में गोलीबारी कर रहा है. It cannot be considered as anything. It is not a promise, it is not a proposal, it is not an agreement, it is nothing, right? But the point is, the principle says that you have to say to somebody to make a proposal, and there is no other buddy in the person, so it is not a proposal, and that is your option. Promise and agreement वाला option तो मैं facts के बगैर ही cancel कर दूंगा, right? I don't even need the facts to cancel options A and D. Why? Because the given principle only explains what is a proposal. So my question is this a proposal? My answer can be yes, it is a proposal, or no, it is not a proposal. I cannot answer whether it is something else. So even without the facts, A and D to answer हो ही नहीं सकता, right? Because I don't know what is a promise, I don't know what is an agreement. मेरे पास सिर्फ proposal का definition है, and by definition this is not a proposal. So what do I answer? I say C. He has made a statement which did not result in a proposal. What does the principle mean? When one person signifies to another, I am a person, you are a person. When I tell you, I have to give this information to another person that I will do something or I will not do something, with the view of obtaining the assent of the other. I say I will do something for you. I want you to agree to it. Or I say I will not do this and I want you to say yes to it. For example, I can say I have the right to build a big building on this property, but I agree not to build that building so that you can have a good view from your house, right? I'm giving up my right for you. So either I do something for you or I don't do something for your benefit. I don't do something so that you get a benefit. In either case, the reason I make such a statement is I want you to agree to it. then I have made a proposal. When I make a statement in an empty room, मैं किसके agreement के लिए बोल रहा हूं? कुछ भी नहीं, मैं time pass कर रहा हूं. Right? For a proposal, a second person is required. This person is single in an empty room. It cannot be a proposal. Did you understand that, Amanbir? Yes? Okay. Chalo, guys. I think one last question for the day. Then I'll take doubts regarding other things. One last question for the day. Of course, I'll be sending the PPT soft copy to you by end of day. A proposal should be made with the intention that after its valid acceptance, a legally binding promise or offering agreement will be created. The test for the determination of such intention is not subjective, it is objective. Very clear rules. The intention of the parties to be ascertained from the terms of the agreement and the surrounding circumstances under which such an agreement is entered into. And as a general rule, in case of agreements regulating social relations, it follows as a matter of course that parties intend legal consequences to follow. However, the above rules are just presumptive in nature and hence can be rebutted. Simple meaning, right? Whether a person has made an offer or not, it is a valid offer and a valid acceptance if the people who are making such an offer and acceptance agree that in case either one of us does not obey to our agreement, does not stick to our agreement, we will go to the court. When you are very clear that if either one of us does not agree to what we have promised in the agreement, we can go to court, then it is a valid contract. That is the legal intention. How do you find out whether the intention behind the offer was legal or not? Whether they intended to enter into a legal relationship or not? Simple, common sense. Circumstances under which the offer, acceptance or whatever was made will tell you whether under normal circumstances the people who made such an agreement or the person who made such an offer intended that they will go to courts if it does not happen. Chalo. One morning, while having a breakfast, X, the father, says to Y, his son, in a casual manner, I shall buy a motorbike for you if you get through the CLAT. Simple test. If X does not keep his promise, do you think he is okay with Y taking him to the court? Did he even imagine that his son will take him to the court if he does not keep his promise? So is there a legal intention in this case? Right? So it's not an enforceable promise. It is not a valid proposal and it's not an enforceable agreement. Okay, promise and agreement wala option to chalo, principle itself does not describe. The point is the proposal to be valid, right, has to be with the intention. And the principle says that how do you determine the intention? By looking at the circumstances. अब एक बाप कैजुअली अगर बेटे को बोलता है बेटा एग्जाम में ये होगा तो मैं ये दिलाऊंगा, डू यू थिंक एनी फादर एवर थिंक्स दैट द सन इज गोइंग टू सू हिम इफ ही डज नॉट fulfill the promise? No. So the best possible option definitely has to be D. It did not result in any enforceable agreement. I hope everybody agrees to this. Yes. I hope everybody agrees to this. So guys, we are done for the day. In case you have any questions related to any of the processes, application, colleges, forms, I'll stick around. Else you can exit the session, stay home, stay safe. I'll be sending tomorrow's schedule in a short while by end of day today. Any other doubts, any questions you can ask. Kervi, you didn't understand this principle? Okay, I'll explain this. See, एक ऑफ बाप बोलता है अगर तू क्लैट में पास हो जाएगा तो मैं बाइक दिलाऊंगा. बेटा बोलता है ओके ओके. नाउ इज दिस अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इन द आइज ऑफ लॉ? लॉ कहता है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, ये ऑफर एक्सेप्टेंस होते वक्त अगर दोनों पार्टी जानती है कि कोर्ट में हम जाएंगे अगर ये फुलफिल नहीं हुआ, that means that their intention, the test is not subjective. It's not up to the judge to decide. It's the common sense principle, right? The intention of the parties is to be ascertained from the terms of the agreement and the surrounding circumstances. How do you decide whether they actually mean to make a legal agreement or is it just casual talk? So in this case, it's clearly said the father is telling his son in a casual manner. So then how can you even, no common man will ever say that they intended to create a legal relationship, and hence it is not a serious contract wala offer, it is just something which they are saying. Did you get that, Karavi? Okay. Khwaish, this year we do not know what see, IBA is two exams, even if they are conducted in May, I doubt they will ever be conducted on a Sunday, and CLAT is usually conducted on Sundays. So same day ka clash to nahi hi hoga, right? Mahek, you already know what the CLAT is like, but CLAT 2020 was not a good parameter because there was a lot of changes. But like I said, you should focus on one, GK and current affairs. Second, a lot of reading, because the one thing which you would have learned from 2020 is that reading is the one skill which will help you in practically every section. So regular reading of whatever material you can should be your prime focus, along with GK and current affairs. Legal aptitude mein awareness portion you must have seen for 2020, not great, right? Similarly, mathematics was not a huge section. Reasoning again was not a huge section. The one thing which would have helped is if you had very good reading skills. So focus on reading and GK current affairs every day, and maths, reasoning, legal once every 2 days or 3 days, because you have adequate time, you can do that. Okay. Careers 360, law 360, no of, go to iqideas.com/iqideas.in/notifications. अपने ही पेज पे हमने बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस डाले हुए हैं. यूज दैट एज अ फर्स्ट सोर्स. आदित्य 2021 का पैटर्न, जब तक ऑफिशियल नोटिफिकेशन नहीं आता तब तक कुछ प्रेडिक्ट नहीं किया जा सकता. मैं एक सेम आंसर ऑफिशियली, जब, बिकॉज 2020 वाज अ टोटली डिफरेंट थिंग, सो आई विल नॉट इवन कंसिडर 2020 फॉर, इवन फॉर प्रैक्टिस मैं 2020 को नहीं देखूंगा. ऑल्दो आई हैव सॉल्व्ड द सेक्शंस, बट आई विल नॉट, जब तक नोटिफिकेशन नहीं आता है तब तक 2020 विल नॉट, आई विल नॉट गेस एनीथिंग. अमनबीर, जस्ट आस्क. मैं, nobody knows, even CLAT, I don't think CLAT consortium खुद को ही शायद श्योरिटी नहीं होगी वो क्या करने वाले हैं. वो तो मीटिंग करके डिसाइड करके ऑफिशियली जब बताएंगे तब, बिकॉज NLU, आई होप यू नो, NLS बैंगलोर लास्ट टाइम एट द लास्ट मोमेंट डिसाइडेड कि हम CLAT नहीं लेंगे, वी विल टेक आवर ओन एग्जाम इन लैट. फिर सुप्रीम कोर्ट में केस हुआ, फिर इट वॉज डिसाइडेड दैट, उन्होंने एग्जाम कंडक्ट भी किया खुद का, देन सुप्रीम कोर्ट डिसाइडेड दिस एग्जाम इज रॉन्ग, तो उन्होंने रिजल्ट अनाउंस नहीं किया, बोला नहीं, नो रिजल्ट, हम डायरेक्टली CLAT से अभी CLAT लेंगे. So let the official information come. Let the information come. Amanbir, I only know the basic details of getting the domicile certificate, but the nitty-gritties, even I am not aware because I have not involved myself in that process. My office used to take care of this. So the online process, we are not very sure. We used to get it done physically. Physically, it was simple. You had to fill in the form, get the documents, and you had to go to the police station and just submit it there. But this year, because of the pandemic and other things, they have given the online facility, but I'm not very sure how exactly. So if there's a lawyer or an advocate or basically a person who handles such issues, then they will be the best people to give you advice. My office will not be able to advise. This is a technical matter. Oh, this is a technical matter. This is a technical matter. Taluka, the address issue and other things is a technical matter. You will need to take up with the person who actually handles such things. I'm afraid I have no idea of whom you can approach. Jay, for BBA plus LLB, see, obviously other than the national or universal, no, see, first of all NLUs don't give BBA plus LLB, right? So go through the official website to find out which college gives BBA LLB. Like GNLU में BBA LLB है, निर्मा में है. So GNLU Nirma local, I mean Gujarat based अगर देखना है तो you can give. Symbiosis I think has BBA, that is good. Yashvi, like I just mentioned, if you are sure you want to fill in. But if I were you, I will wait for the board exam dates and then I will start filling. उसके पहले, because see, last date for filling in the form तो बहुत दूर है. So I will still wait for the actual board exam dates to come. मैं जल्दबाजी नहीं करूँगा. कोई डेट खत्म होने